you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hannes Birker, and I'm pleased to welcome you to the presentation about my master thesis, which is elaborated at the University of Applied Science Campus 02 in Graz. The thesis focuses mainly on microcontroller technology with the title Modernization of a Microcontroller System. Before I start with the main part, I give you a general introduction and an overview of the key topics of this presentation. The speech will take around 8 minutes, except the question and answer session at the end. This thesis is ordered by the steering company SSE Schäfer. As a comprehensive provider for inter-logistic systems, they need a lot of microcontroller systems and other control units in low-end applications and in high-end applications. During the 1990s, the company SSE Schäfer used Motorola's microcontroller HC11 as a standard microcontroller for the in-house development of its products. However, SSE Schäfer's most used model, the HC11, has been taken out of production by the semiconductor manufacturer. The model can only be obtained at a striking unit price from a decreasing manufacturing stock. So the aim of this diploma thesis is to propose an appropriate microcontroller substitute for the HC11. Furthermore, concepts for the integration of a new microcontroller in the existing control units are developed, and the disadvantages and advantages of each concept is stated. So the structure of my presentation is as follows. First of all, I speak about the KP-MAT module and the functionality of the MS32. This will help you to understand the general principle of the commissioning unit with the KP-MAT. The next point on the agenda of my presentation is the technical and strategical objectives. Further, the sources for modern microcontroller architectures are stated. Moreover, the selected architectures and the concepts for integration in the systems are constituted, as well as a final summary and a short review. On this slide you see a KP-MAT module which is controlled by the MS32. The products in the channel are ready for commissioning and they are thrown out by the green ejectors. The MS32 steers the electro-pneumatic wheels in the ejector. Further, the MS32 evaluates an optical sensor in the ejectors in order to observe the ejection process. Now let's move to the MS32 board, which is operated by the HC11. It is possible to control 32 pneumatic electric waves and observe 32 optical sensors. So the technical and the strategical objectives in this thesis, of my thesis, is first the technical, to evaluate performance, and very important is to check the compatibility of all interfaces as well as the reusability. And the strategical objectives focus on high sales volume products and companies non-trending established products. Further, develop a streamlined process for employee training. Now I want to go on with the sources for modern microcontrollers, which I examined in this study. First, the microchip PEAK architecture, second, the Renesas architecture, third, the Atmel architecture, and the MSP 430 architecture from Texas Instruments, and finally the ARM architecture with its Cortex family. I focus on the architectures of PEAK and the emerging architecture of ARM. This leads me to the next point, the architecture decisions and the concepts for the system integration. The selected architecture and the recommended architecture is the ARM architecture. Inside the ARM world, the Cortex M series is selected because the cores of the M series are optimized for usage in microcontroller architecture. As a semiconductor manufacturer for the IP of ARM as the microcontroller microelectronics is assorted. Inside the product portfolio of ST, the STM32F051R8 meets all the technical and all the strategical objective specs. On this slide you see web prototyping tools. Here in this web prototyping tool the select architecture is integrated. So far we had a look at the selected architecture, and next I will speak about the concept, and this will be the last point of my talk. After this point we move over to the question and answer session. The first concept I want to present is the additional adapter board with the Cortex derivate and conductors to the MS32 board. In this case, no changing the MS32 layers is needed, but a new program must be developed. The second concept is the emulation of the HC11 architecture. In this case, the whole architecture of the HC11 is emulated with a Cortex microcontroller. So an extended effort on the microcontroller program development is provided, but no changing in the layout and no changing in the existing program are needed. So we come to the third concept I want to present. This is the whole redesigning of the MS32 board. In this case, a new layout must be developed as well as a new microcontroller program. But for instance, the dimensions of the board could be scaled down, as well as the input and output driver could be replaced by a cheaper module, and so it's possible to scale down the cost of the whole product. So now I want to give you a short summary of my presentation. At first I gave you a general introduction in the company SC Schäfer and its problem with the availability of the microcontroller HC11. Next we spoke about the technical and strategical objective, and the next point was the architecture, sources for the modern architecture, and finally I present the selective architecture as well as concepts for integration into consisting systems. So ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure for me to do this presentation. I thank you for your attention and I thank you for your time. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask me. I will be happy to answer them. Thank you very much.